Hello, my listeners. Welcome back to J.Reddit. Today's story is wild. Imagine working for years on your dream invention, and then your boss steals it and puts his own name on the patent. Before we dive in, grab your coffee, sit back, and don't you dare fall asleep on me. Tell me, how's my voice sounding in your ears today? Relaxing enough? You're hanging out with me? Listening to a story that might just change the way you look at trust at work. And hey, when you're done, drop a comment. What city are you listening from? I want to see how far our J.Reddit family stretches across the world. All right, let's get into it. I'm 28 years old, and ever since college, I've been obsessed with sustainable technology. While my friends were partying, I spent nights in the engineering lab, tinkering with prototypes. My biggest breakthrough was a solar-powered water filtration device, small, affordable, and capable of purifying dirty water in under 30 minutes. It wasn't flashy, but it had the power to change lives. I dreamed of bringing it to developing regions where clean water was scarce. I kept a notebook full of sketches and ideas, each page carefully dated. I had photos of prototypes, receipts for parts, even a small local expo where I displayed the device years before. I ever signed with a company. Fast forward when I landed a job at a mid-sized tech company. I thought it was my big break. My boss, let's call him Mr. Collins, praised me constantly. You're exactly the kind of talent we need, he'd say with a wide grin. I thought I had finally found someone who believed in me. But trust can be dangerous. Asterisk, a few months into my job, Collins invited me into his office. His desk was stacked with papers, and he slid one toward me. Standard employment agreement, he said casually. Just a formality for all engineers. Protects the company's intellectual property. I skimmed the pages. One line stood out. Any invention, design, or patent created during employment belongs solely to the company. I froze. What if I've already invented something before working? Here! I asked. He waved his hand. Don't worry, that's just boilerplate language. It won't affect your personal projects. Sign it, and let's get you back to building amazing things. I wanted to believe him. I didn't want to look paranoid or difficult, so, against my gut feeling, I signed, and that signature came back to haunt me. Asterisk. 2 months later, I stumbled upon something that made my stomach drop. The company newsletter proudly announced, Collins and team file patent for breakthrough solar filtration technology. I clicked the link. My heart pounded as I scrolled. The diagrams were mine. The prototype was mine. Even the technical language word. Forward from my notes. The kicker. The patent application listed Collins as the sole inventor. The company claimed full ownership. I confronted him the next day. Collins, this is my design. I worked on it for years before joining. He leaned back in his chair, smirking. You signed the agreement. That makes it company property. Look, kid, you should be grateful. Now, your little toy will actually see the light of day. Grateful, I felt sick. My dream invention, the one I built from scratch, had been hijacked. Asterisk, desperate, I turned to Reddit. I posted in our legal advice. Can my employer claim a patent I invented before I started working there? The responses poured in. If you have proof you created it beforehand, the company has no claim. Employment contracts can't magically transfer rights to past inventions. Get a lawyer. Collect every shred of evidence you have. I gathered everything my notebooks, timestamped files, old emails, receipts for prototype parts, photos from college, even testimonies from friends who saw me working on it years earlier. Hiring a lawyer drained my savings, but it was the best decision I ever made. When my lawyer saw the evidence, he smiled. They don't have a leg to stand on. This is clear misappropriation. Meanwhile, Collins wasn't slowing down. He had started pitching his invention to investors, painting himself as a visionary. He even gave a TED-style talk about the device without mentioning me once, but justice was catching up. Asterisk, the case went to arbitration. Collins strutted in, confident. He claimed I had refined the design while working at the company, so technically, it was theirs. But my lawyer laid out the evidence piece by piece. A dated notebook entry from 3 years before my employment. Emails I had sent to a professor about the prototype. A video of me presenting the device at a local science expo. The arbitrator looked directly at Collins. This invention clearly predates the employment contract! The rightful owner is the plaintiff. Collins's smug face melted into shock. The company was ordered to withdraw its patent filing, pay damages, and issue a public correction. Asterisk news spread fast. Collins's reputation collapsed. Investors pulled out, and within months, he quietly resigned. As for me, I finally filed the patent under my own name. With a small grant and a lot of determination, I launched a startup. My solar water filtration device is now being distributed in rural communities, actually helping the people I designed it for. The road was painful, but I learned something priceless. Always protect your work, and never sign away your rights. Without reading every line? Asterisk. And that's today's story from J.Reddit. My boss stole my patent. What would you have done in OP's place? Have you ever trusted someone at work and regretted it? Asterisk, share your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories of betrayal, justice, and redemption. Asterisk. But here's the thing. After this story blew up, the comment section was full of people saying, "This happened to me too." And honestly, some of their stories are just as shocking. But the story doesn't end here. Because after this episode went viral, other people came forward, sharing their own workplace horror stories. And honestly, some of them are even worse. Asterisk 1 commenter wrote, "This hit way too close to home. I once joined a startup and shared an app prototype I had been working on for months. The founder told me, 'We'll help you polish it.' A few weeks later, they kicked me out of the team and launched my app under their company name. I didn't even know they could do that. I didn't have patents or paperwork. Lost everything in a blink." Asterisk, another viewer shared, "My final year engineering project was a new type of low-cost drone battery. I showed it to my professor, proud and excited. A year later, I found out he filed a patent on it without me. I was shocked. When I confronted him, he said since I used university labs, the invention automatically belonged to the school. I had no idea students could lose their work like that." Asterisk, and here's another chilling one. A friend of mine worked at a design firm. He created a unique piece of software for 3D modeling. His boss told him it wasn't market ready. 2 months later, the company released a new product, his software, almost identical. My friend didn't have evidence to fight back, so he had to just watch his idea make millions for someone else. One commenter said, "This story gave me chills. I shared an app prototype with the founder of a startup. He told me we'd refine it together. A few weeks later, I was kicked out, and he launched the exact app under his name. Can you imagine? Genius work, thrown away because of blind trust." Asterisk, another listener wrote, "My final year drone battery project. My professor told me to wait before publishing. A year later, he patented it himself. I wasn't even credited." Guys, how would you feel if the very person you trusted to guide you stole your work? Commenta-san! The artist's pain then, an artist shared. I designed a logo for a company. They loved it so much, they trademarked it without paying me or giving me credit. When I confronted them, they said, "Once you emailed it, it's ours." Seriously? Artists, what would you do in this situation? Commenter, for the research paper. Theft One grad student wrote, "I spent 2 years on a research paper. My advisor told me to hold off. Months later, he published my work under his own name. I was just listed as a contributor. That's not mentorship. That's robbery." Commenter 5. The family betrayal, and this one. From family! I invented a home gadget and showed it to my cousin. Next month, he launched it on Amazon under his own brand. When I called him out, he said, "Family shares ideas." Yeah, sure. But not the profits. What do you guys think? Worse than a boss stealing from you, right? Commenter 6. The Silent Partner. Another wrote, I built an online business with a partner. I coded everything! One morning, I woke up, locked out Heed, changed all the passwords, and registered everything under his own name. My listeners, tell me, what would you do if you lost months of work overnight like that? Commenter 7. The music idea. Then came this painful one. I played a melody for my producer. A year later, the same tune appeared in a TV commercial. He denied stealing it, but I knew it was mine. I couldn't prove it no copyright. Musicians out there? Does this sound familiar? Commenter 8. The design firm Betrayal, finally. Someone said, my friend created a 3D software at work. His boss told him it wasn't ready. 2 months later, the company released it as their own product, without his name anywhere. Guys, tell me, what punishment should bosses like this face? So, my listeners, you've heard it Tate stories, one after another. All with the same lesson, if you create something, protect it. Here are the takeaways, always document your work. Dates, drafts, receipts, photos, anything that proves ownership! Never sign contracts blindly. That tiny fine print can cost you everything. File early. A provisional patent, a copyright, even a written agreement can protect you later. Don't rely on trust alone. Sadly, betrayal often comes from people you least expect. Bosses, mentors, even family. And if something feels wrong, ask for advice immediately. Communities like our legal advice, or better yet, an actual lawyer, can save your invention and your future. So, my listeners, you're still with me, right? Don't drift off, stay with my voice. Tell me in the comments, where are you tuning in from? And has anything like this ever happened to you? Your story might be the one that wakes someone else up before it's too late. This was J.Reddit. My boss stole my patent. Like, subscribe, and I'll be back with more stories of betrayal, justice, and survival. Stay safe. Protect your work, and remember you are the only rightful owner of your genius. And before we close today's episode, let me give you one last short story I found in the comments because honestly, it stuck with me. A listener wrote, I once sketched out a product idea in my notebook Just Doodles. Really? I showed it to a coworker for fun. A year later, he launched a Kickstarter campaign. Using my exact design, I wasn't even mentioned. He made thousands, while I sat there with my notebook, realizing my mistake. I trusted the wrong person. Crazy, right? Even something as simple as a doodle can turn into a stolen gold mine if you don't protect it. Asterisks. So, my listeners, here's the question I'll leave you with tonight. What's worser? Boss stealing your invention? Or someone close to you? Like a friend or family member betraying your trust? Drop your answer in the comments. And while you're at it, tell me where. Are you listening from right now? I love seeing our J.Reddit family spread across the world. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and grab a coffee the next time. You tune in, because I'll be back with another story that might just change the way you look at the people around you. This was J.Reddit. Protect your work, protect your dreams, and I'll catch you in the next one. Asterisk. And before I finally end today's story, my listeners, I want to share something real about myself. I don't just tell stories, here I live with stories too. I have 8 puppies at home. Their names are Browno, Lucy, Max, Tommy, and Bella. And every time I see an animal sick or alone on the street, I bring them home, give them food and shelter. I come from a middle-class family, and honestly, it's not easy. My mom scolds me sometimes. How will you feed them when you can hardly feed yourself? And recently, when my dad got sick, things became so hard that my mom had to give away 2 of my puppies. That day broke me. From then on, I promised myself, start this YouTube journey, not just to tell stories, but to build something that can also support them. And right now, my Browno isn't well, so if you're listening, I have one small request. Please, drop a comment wishing Browno to get better. That would mean more than any like or share. Because at the end of the day, I don't just want you to hear stories, I want you to know me too.